they both return 10%. But the better answer is I want the one that took less risk in an effort to get the 10% rate of return. That is a good example of risk-adjusted portfolios, and it's something that we pursue in our portfolios. So we have flexibility in these portfolios. We could customize as much as needed to meet the individual needs of our clients. And part of this model portfolio program is the rebalancing. We will, on regular intervals, rebalance the portfolios. For example, we rebalanced all 5 of those base portfolios 4 times in 2017, and we've already done 1 rebalancing thus far in 2018, and we're not even done with the month of January. The expectation is we will probably rebalance 4 times in total in 2018. We do have some discretion depending on what's going on. We may do more or fewer rebalancing, but 4 is typically the right number for us in our system. When we're doing rebalancing, think about the example going back to 50-50. We are very sensitive and mindful of the tax impact of all of our changes in trading. If the rebalancing is taking place in some type of tax-sheltered account, like an IRA, a 401k, or even a variable annuity, then taxes are not an issue. But in an instance, and there are lots of examples of this when I think about our clientele here at Elliott Wealth, is that when we're in a taxable account, we want to be very careful not to create taxes needlessly and to be really cautious about the tax impact of the rebalancing. But the rebalancing is another way that we're doing risk-adjusted portfolios, because the purpose of the rebalancing is to help us and our clients stick with the investment plan irregardless of what the market does or is doing at that moment. And the focus, the risk-adjusted portfolio focus, is on minimizing investor risk by staying within targeted allocations. Rebalancing is not meant for the pursuit of maximizing returns, but rather minimizing investor risk and mitigating the risk that we're taking to carry out the long-term goals and objectives of the client. So, in summary, rebalancing is generally something that should be strongly considered. We believe that it leads to better long-term success by helping to manage risk, helping to stay on track and not let things get too risky or too conservative and fall out of bounds of what would be normal just because you might not be paying attention. All of these things that we discussed today, I work with clients on day in and day out. If you're a client and you're listening to this, a lot of what I just discussed will sound familiar. If you're a prospect considering speaking and or meeting with us, these are some of the things we will incorporate into our discussion with you as we try and determine what a good financial and investment plan might look like to help you carry out your goals and objectives. So rebalancing in today's market, good idea. Be careful of bonds and pay attention to what's happening in your portfolio. At this point, I usually ask, and I will again, please, if you could share this episode or others with your friends, coworkers, post it on social media. I would appreciate the help a great deal. You can also subscribe to this podcast by going to the Elliott Wealth website, which is www.elliottwealth.com. Elliott has 2 L's and 2 T's. You could subscribe to the podcast at places like iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, and the like. It would mean a great deal to me. I will be back with you next week on the next episode of the Simply Financial Podcast. Thanks for listening.
It was in New York City. The views expressed are not necessarily the opinion of SagePoint Financial Incorporated and should not be construed directly or indirectly as an offer to buy or sell any securities mentioned herein. Investing is subject to risks, including loss of principal invested. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. No strategy can assure a profit nor protect against loss. Please note that individual situations can vary. Therefore, the information should be relied upon when coordinated with individual professional advice. Please note, the information being provided is strictly as a courtesy. When you link to any of the websites provided here, you are leaving this website. We make no representation as to the completeness or accuracy of the information provided at these websites, nor is the company liable for any direct or indirect technical or system issues or any consequences arising out of your access to your use of third-party technologies, websites, information, and programs made available through this website. When you access one of these websites, you are leaving our website and assume total responsibility and risk for your use of the websites you are linking to. Securities and advisory services are offered through SagePoint Financial Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Insurance services offered through Elliott Wealth Management, LLC, not affiliated with SagePoint Financial.